Was I muted this whole time? Wow, I was muted the whole time. You guys didn't tell me. Was I muted the whole time and you guys didn't tell me I was muted? Come on, guys. 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 Come on. Let me check this out. Now you can hear me, right? The whole time I was muted. Now we got to start the stream over again. Goodness. Nobody said anything. Well, you know what it is? My this thing is so like temperamental. If you tap it, and so it was tapped. So you guys didn't even hear my little open. You heard my beats. You heard my sound effects, but you didn't hear what I had to say. So what I was saying was, I hit everybody with the yer. I gave everybody a shout out. Ray Condi in the chat. I said we're going red, and then the first thing I said that we needed to start with tonight is that I know the Yankees haven't made any significant moves. I know Cody Bellinger is not a Yankee. I know that you guys are Yankee fans saying, what the hell is Cashman doing? Is he in the sleeping bag? I know that the baseball world seems to think us Yankee fans can't weigh in on what's going on in the baseball world because the Yankees have Trent Grisham taking $22 million on the qualifying offer, Ryan Yarbrough, Ryan Weathers, Ahmed Rosario, and Paul Blackburn. And that's your offseason. And for the most part, that's running it back outside of Ryan Weathers, which I can't even tell you the players that they gave up for Ryan Weathers. It doesn't matter. It's insignificant. It's not moving the needle at all. But glad everybody can hear me now. Let's get back into what I said I wanted to start with because we got to backtrack. Boom. Steve Cohen. Steve Cohen had to get on the Twitter machine. Steve Cohen had to go out there and get on the app. If I was a billionaire, I would never use this app. If I was a $500,000-aire, I would never use this app. If I was a 300, 400,000-aire, I would never use the app. Steve Cohen doesn't need the app. Nothing good comes from it. So he tweets out, "Let me know when you see smoke." And my response was, "Don't make another dumpster fire." Like, don't make another dumpster fire like you did last year with that team that collapsed and didn't make it. But then he doubled down. For those who don't understand the Pope election reference, we are waiting for a decision. That's all I know. Say less, my boy. Say less. Say less. You are the owner of the team. Do you see Hal Steinbrenner tweeting about anything? No, because you don't need to. So then out of nowhere, I'm trying to get in the bed last night. I shower up and I'm thinking, I don't know, it's like 10 something. I'm thinking, whatever. Nothing's going down. I'm about to take it down. I'm about to go to sleep. And out of nowhere, we get smacked with boom. Excuse me, say what? Kyle Tucker? 4 years, $240 million deal with the Dodgers. They've done it again. The LA Lurkers. Don't you think for a second that they are not waiting to pounce? Don't you think for a second that they're content? Don't you think for a second that they've done enough and they don't need any more and they've won back-to-back championships? And this is the modern day evil empire. And I say that to say this. It has nothing to do with the evil empire that the Yankees once were. Nothing to do at all. Nothing to do with what the Yankees used to be at all. But it's the modern day evil empire, and emphasis on the modern day. They have exploited a couple loopholes. They have the ownership group. They have the unicorn in the sport in Shohei Ohtani. They have it all going on right now. So boom, you saw that. And before I really start to lean into the Dodgers, let's go to the Tucker contract. Full details on Kyle Tucker's Dodgers contract. 4 years, $240 million guaranteed. Opt-outs after year 2 and 3. $64 million signing bonus. $30 million deferred. $57.1 million a year in net present value. after factoring in deferrals, a record by $6+ million, a staggering deal. So $30 million deferred, 57.1 as the AAV. Good God. You mean to tell me Kyle Tucker is making more than Juan Soto? Kyle Tucker's making more than Aaron Judge? What the hell are we doing here? Kyle Tucker's a good player. Kyle Tucker's not better than Juan Soto. Kyle Tucker's damn sure not better than Aaron Judge. And now we'll take a quick breather and we'll tap into the chat. My guy Chris throwing money. My guy Chris says, you know what? I want to be seen. I want to be heard. And I want to get in here. So Chris says, with the Mets signing Bo Bichette, the Marcus Semien trade officially makes no sense. Chris, you my man, but I'm about to show you something, bro. Let me go to the share screen feature here and share my screen. Bo Bichette, Marcus Semien. You guys are watching this now, right? Reunited, and it feels so good. In 2021, Bo Bichette and Marcus Semien forged a special friendship. In 2026, they'll run it back. Would you know or learn from him? Take away from his playing style for 162. Bo Bichette, with tears in his eyes. Everything. He's meant a lot to me. Thanks, Bo. So I'll expound on this. Bo Bichette is going to be playing third base. Marcus Semien is going to be playing second base. Francisco Lindor will be playing shortstop. A combination of Jorge Polanco, Brett Beatty, Mark Vientos will be at first base for the Mets. But I will say that that deal to sign Bo Bichette, it makes sense. It makes a lot of sense. And I'll get more into that after we check the rest of the chat. Keith, unmute. I mean, you can hear me now, right? No, yes, no, yes, no, yes. Now I see. Now I got the green lights down here. We're all good. I think I was muted though before when the intro video was playing. Whatever, man. I'm here now. I'm live now. You see me now. You hear me 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 now. And we're gonna rock till probably 11 o'clock. I got a couple of my youngsters joining in a little bit. It won't be just me. I like to pay it forward. I like to give back. I like to share the space. And I've been doing some collabs. I kind of started off the first couple of weeks doing my own streams here. And now I'm starting to let people join that are like-minded individuals that do things. Speaking of like-minded individuals, the Twin Stripe Reporters in the building. Wow. What's up, guys? What is up, guys? I just saw them at the Bernie Williams Carnegie Hall performance. It was splendid. It was grand. Let's see what else is in the chat here before I go back. So we've already hit Kyle Tucker, right? We're starting to get into the Dodgers. We're starting to get to Bo Bichette. But there's kind of a thread that I'm going to create here. I see you guys in the chat talking about the audio. What's up? Just got on. I thought it was me. No, it was me. It was me. But it's all good. You guys didn't miss anything. I think I was muted for the first 4 or 5 minutes, but we didn't really get into too much. Now let's continue to get back into this. Steve Cohen is a clown. So with that being said, yeah, Steve Cohen is a clown because when you are this rich and powerful, you don't need the internet. You don't need clout. You don't need followers. You don't need popularity. You've got more dollars than you'll ever have followers. Some people can't say that. Why do you need to get on the internet and get this instant gratification and then watch it blow up in your face? So Steve Cohen probably thought that his offer to Kyle Tucker was going to get it done. He probably thought, we got him. We're just waiting to hear word. And that's foolish because, like I said, don't you think for a second that the Dodgers are not lurking? Don't you think for a second that if they want somebody, they won't go get them? My initial reaction was, you got finessed and fleeced again. Edwin Diaz went to the Dodgers. You thought you were going to get him. You offered him. You thought he was coming back. And that's your man's. Bam, 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 bam. Like, that's your guy. And then they did the same thing to you with Kyle Tucker. So let me pull up one or two more things here on the lines of Steve Cohen, and joining us right now, the Sports Pod, my guy, Mr. Ben Ballion. What's up, Ben?
How we doing,
Mic check.
Keith?
Good, man. Check your mic because I was muted. My mic was muted, and everybody got mad at me, and they're like, hey, is it my end? What the hell are you doing? I'm like, listen, man, it's Friday night. It's 9 o'clock. I was muted, my bad. But Ben is good. Look at Ben's setup. Nice.
There we go, man. It's only been, 3 years? Are the lights on? No, the lights aren't on. There we go.
There you go.
There it is.
Yeah, so
I
shout
got
out
the
to
full
Ben.
Sports Pod experience.
Yes, Ben has his own brand called the Sports Pod. I'm super proud of Ben. I'll quickly give you guys some background on how Ben and I connected. Ben listens to the fan. He's a young guy that reached out, and he asked for an opportunity, and I kind of brainstormed an opportunity, a way for him to work with me. So when I was doing my show on WFAN at night, I was doing the show, and I had different producers. And I'll bring Ben back in a second, but this is my solo shot. And then we'll give Ben his time. Ben, I gave him a task that would help him and help me, but really help him more. Producers for all of our WFAN shows, they make what's called a one sheet. And the way I would make my one sheet, or the way that I would kind of get ready for shows, I would use Google Alerts and Google Trends, and I would set a bunch of post notifications on different reporters and stuff where if the John Harbaugh news breaks, you put that in the one sheet. If the Kyle Tucker news, Bo Bichette news, JT Realmuto, you put all of these things that happen in sports into the one sheet. And Ben took that task on for well over a year and delivered probably every single day, even days that I wasn't on. He was kind of like my shadow producer, or my intern, like fake producer, trying to, but what I did it for was, I was like, listen, this is going to keep you sharp. Every day you're going to know for a year all of these things that happen in the MLB, NFL, NHL, NBA, and you're going to be sending it to me almost like a homework assignment. Like every time I'm on at 7 or 10 or whatever, you got to submit that. And I'll pass it over to Ben. I hope it helped Ben because I would use it once in a while if I had a 5-hour show and I'm like, man, I'm kind of reaching for stuff, but that never really happens. But I hope Ben had a real experience of okay, now I'm doing this for a year. I've got my knowledge up and I'm able to use this on my own show. So take it away, Ben.
Yeah, man, I feel like I had it down to a science where you talk about using Google Alerts. I would use ESPN and Bleacher Report. I would click onto the front page. They have those headlines. I would take everything from there. Then I would go NFL, MLB, NBA, go down the list like that. And then before you know it, I'm done. It's about 20 bullet points per sheet. And it took me at the start, it was taking me a while, probably closer to an hour 15. But then towards the end of your tenure, I had it down to around 30 minutes probably.
Good.
So it just came with anything. Like you said, it kept me sharp. I knew what was going on whenever I went to make an Instagram video, a podcast. I was like, all right, this is what I talked about for Keith today. Maybe I could take this and use it for myself as well.
Yeah, I didn't want it to be a one-way street, so I'm glad you've got some value out of that. And as you guys can see, Ben is a Mets fan. So, Ben, here's what I've already hit on, and I'll get your take and opinion on it. The first thing I talked about was Steve Cohen and those tweets, and I just feel like Steve Cohen has no need to tweet. The second thing I was talking about was how, the Kyle Tucker news hit last night. So not only were those tweets unnecessary, they just got the fans even more upset. And of course, it's the Dodgers swooping in. Now the Dodgers take Edwin Diaz. They take Kyle Tucker from you. I mean, they took Yamamoto from you. It's like, come on. This is the team that knocked you out of the NLCS 2 years ago. So how do you feel about Steve Cohen tweeting about something that did not go down? And how do you feel about, losing players to the evil villain Dodgers?
It sucks. I mean, the Dodgers, it's too much with them. You look at last year, they were injured the entire playoff run. They still found a way to make it to the World Series. The year before, I feel like they were even more injured, and it feels like they just keep getting deeper. And now with Kyle Tucker, he is going to be hitting in the 5-hole on that Dodgers lineup. Think about that for a second. This is an all-star, a perennial all-star in the MLB, and he is hitting 5th for this team. That doesn't happen at all. And as far as Steve Cohen goes, I heard you talking before I got on here about how he should get off Twitter and it's too much. And I agree at points. It does get a little much. And you compared him to Hal Steinbrenner. The difference between Hal and Cohen is that Cohen is in the stands talking to fans. He's always out and about in the media.
Sure.
Hal is a lot more in the background, working behind the scenes, not really interacting with the fans as much, where Cohen is in the limelight constantly.
Yeah, but what I say is, I think it's because he's still very much a new owner. Hal was born into this. He doesn't need the pomp and circumstance. He doesn't need the clout. He doesn't need the notoriety. You know who he is. Steve Cohen's got to fall back, man. No good comes from this. I get it. You want he wants to reap the benefits of being the owner. He wants to 2 years ago when you guys did well, he said he wants to exterminate the negative Met fan. But when things go bad, they're all coming at you too. So stand down a little bit. You're a billionaire. You don't need to do this. You don't need to tweet. And we get it. You've done a lot for Mets fans, but ultimately Mets fans want to win. Ultimately, Mets fans want to be competitive and not be mocked and not have a collapse and not be a laughing stock.
Yeah, I get it. I agree with you that it's too much. I just think it's who he is. And you talk about Hal being born into ownership. Cohen was a fan first. He grew up as a Met fan, and I'm assuming
and a Yankee fan.
He grew up before the age of social media, before the age of people interacting online. But I'm sure if he grew up with all these tools that we have today, he would have been live tweeting games and posting his reaction to what the team is doing long before he had an ownership stake.
Yeah, I guess it's different strokes for different folks. And speaking of that, Rugby Ray, why you always talking Mets? I hate to break this to you, Met fans. I live in the greater New York City area, and for the last 4 years, my job was to talk about the Mets. I know I'm wearing a Yankee hat. I know you guys know me as a Yankee boy, Met fan troll. But we do both. The Mets have made a ton of moves. Devin Williams, Luke Weaver. I mean, they traded for Marcus Semien, got Brandon Nimmo out of here. They didn't bring back Pete Alonso. Now today, and this is a segue as I take Ray off my screen, we talk Mets because, boom, Bo Bichette signed a 3-year, $126 million deal with the New York Metropolitans. Wow. Now, what were your thoughts when you heard that news as a Mets fan, Ben? Because my initial thoughts were Steve Cohen embarrassed himself so much yesterday, kind of tweeting about the smoke and almost kind of making it seem like, oh, we think we're going to get Kyle Tucker. We're waiting to hear. And then the Dodgers get him. You got to pivot. And I thought the pivot would be Cody Bellinger, a left-handed outfielder. But no, the pivot was to go and get Bo Bichette and steal him from your division rival, your arch rivals, the Philadelphia Phillies. Good job.
And honestly, that's my favorite part about this deal, that you took him from the Phillies. Obviously, I hate Philly. You probably hate Philly, even though you don't root for a team that's, well, I guess the Cowboys, but you're
I hate everything about Philadelphia. I hate all of their sports. I hope that they have no success and never prosper.
Exactly. So, that's the best part of the deal, in my opinion. I'll take you through this of how I heard about the news, right? So I'm walking out of French class today, fourth period. I open my phone, I see the notification, Bo Bichette to the Mets. 3 years, $126 million. I'm like, all right, we made a move. David Stearns got to work. I'm not mad at it. He showed us some life. This is what we've been asking for. And then I read how much money it was for, and I got a little upset. 42 million a year for a player of Bo Bichette's caliber is a ton of money. Bo Bichette's a nice player, don't get me wrong. I just think 42 million a year is incredibly high AAV, but I guess it's the going rate today. And at the end of the day, the Mets are doing something. They have a logjam in the infield now, but it seems like it's going to be worked out because what I'm reading is that they're going to move Brett Beatty to left field, which I don't mind. He's young enough. He can still learn the position. Jorge Polanco doesn't have a ton of first base experience in his career, but he's got some. Throw him over there. I'm sure he'll figure it out. He's a veteran, defensive-minded player. But Shaq could probably play third. He's got a strong arm, a good glove. He's always been solid. And then the middle infield, I'm not worried about whatsoever. It's Lindor, pretty much your captain. And then over at second base, it's going to be Semien and Luis Angel Acuna platooning. So I think it'll work out at the end of the day. And if anything, it'll take the pressure off of getting a left fielder if you don't get one. I would still love for the Mets to go out and sign a left fielder. I just don't know how realistic it is at this point. And if worst comes to worst, you can't get one. You have Brett Beatty in your back pocket who can play that position a little bit.
Yeah, and I think Brett Beatty becomes a trade piece. He's very expendable. Again. I think. Am I? Good grief. Can you hear me? Can you hear me now? This is blowing minds. On my end, it says that I'm good. You guys can't hear me now? No? Yes? No? Yes? No? Am I here? Am I back? Am I like on my end? I'm good. So I don't understand why I'm not coming through here. Oh boy.
It might be my headphones. They're saying in the chat you're good.
Okay. Now it's in my head. Now I'm thinking too much about the muting stuff. But anyway, yeah, I think with Brett Beatty, it's like, who cares about Brett Beatty? Like Steve Cohen trusted David Stearns, and I think now he's forcing David Stearns' hand a bit. Like, yo, we got to do something. And this is what happens, right? I'm sure Stearns had a plan, and the plan did not get executed all the way. And so when it doesn't get executed, it's like, okay, plan B. And you can't tell me that the plan was to have Bo Bichette on this team. So Joel Sherman wrote, just want to make sure I got this. The team accentuating run prevention will play a guy, Jorge Polanco, at first base who has no MLB innings there, and another at third base, Bo Bichette, with no MLB innings there. Funny. I think I still like the moves. Yeah, because these guys can hit, and they're veterans. More when I get back from vacation. Enjoy your vacation, Joel. Take as much time as you need. But I thought that was a good point about, like, wait, all we heard from David Stearns was run prevention, and that was the reason I think that they didn't bring back Pete Alonso. Is that me? Bro, now the audio sounds terrible.
Is that you, Keith? I can't tell. It sounded weird in my headphones, but
it was sounding like a chipmunk. It was sounding terrible. Somebody in the chat let us know. Repping the New York Red Bulls, but of course, I wear them because they paid me and they used me. Right, sounds like a Muppet, right? Did y'all hear that? Sounded like a Muppet, and I don't have any voice type of effects on. I don't know what that's about. It's not from this. It's not from my little mixer here. I don't know. It might just be an internet connection. Yeah, there it is again. Yes, a chipmunk sound. What the? All right, I switched the mic and switched it back. Boo. This is a StreamYard problem. Let's see. I don't know, Ben. You take it away. Yeah, I don't know what that is. That's weird as fuck. Like I've never heard that. I've used StreamYard for years. I've never heard that. I'm like trying to see if there is like, did I hit something to make? There is nothing to make like a chipmunk effect or sound. What? What goes on? Hey, I don't know what to tell you guys. It is technical difficulties. When you work in tech, expect difficulties. We're live here on a Friday night. Keith McPherson and Ben Ballion. We're talking about baseball. If you're on YouTube, go ahead and bang like. Appreciate all y'all in here on Twitter. Usually that's the biggest audience that I get because I have a decent Twitter following. And if you're a baseball fan, this is a safe space. Feedback from the headphones? No, my headphones aren't even that loud. I can't tell you. I can't tell you. Alvin, Simon, Theodore, doot, 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 doot. I would say that's a Wash reference, but they did make a new movie. They Okay, there it is again. Ben, are you talking? Say something.
I can like hear you, but you do sound like Alvin and the Chipmunks. Can you hear me?
I can hear you perfectly fine, but I don't know why I'm coming in that way. That's peculiar. That is odd. That's never happened before. But anyway, back to the show. So I mentioned what Joel Sherman was talking about. Let's see here. I mentioned what Joel Sherman was talking.
Man, it's I can't make out what you're saying. It's
Yeah, I know. I'm hearing myself perfectly fine, but then I'm hearing this feedback that's like that's chipmunky. I do have another mic here for right now. I'll switch MacBook mic, and let's see if the MacBook mic, because the MacBook built-in mic. Let's see if this MacBook mic does any chipmunk sounds. I don't think it will. Um, and I'll plug in my other mic. But Ben, go for it. Weigh in on where these guys are going to play. How many infielders do you need?
all right. Well, Keith's away. I guess I'll take over on the McPherson brand YouTube channel. I just want to get into some of my overall thoughts with the Mets offseason right now. I think there's still a lot to do. Even after signing Bo Bichette, there's still so many holes on this team. Like the pitching is just so paper thin. I don't know what the rotation is going to be like next year. I don't know if you're going to have the bullpen, the bandwidth to really be successful. I mean, they didn't have it in 2025 and they haven't made major improvements. You're not going to win by staying the same. That team last year didn't have it. And I get that they blew up the culture. Brandon Nimmo's gone, Pete Alonso's gone, Edwin Diaz is gone, as well as Jeff McNeil. But as you take away, you also have to add. It has to be at equilibrium here. You can't just impact one side so much and the other side is a zero. So there's still work to do. And the problem right now is that everyone was waiting for Alex Bregman's decision, and then everyone was waiting for Kyle Tucker's decision, that the rest of the guys are really off the board. I mean, I saw Gavin Lux, who might have been a nice pickup. He's a utility guy, has outfield experiences off the board. I think Josh Lowe is another infielder, but he's off the board. There's just not too many guys out there that I would be really happy with the Mets bringing in. And the pitching market is even worse. So don't even get me started on that. But the Mets just have to keep going. David Stearns can't be done yet. Whether it means that you got to make a trade with someone, you have the prospects to do it. The Mets farm system is finally one of the better in the MLB. And it's just, there's so much to be done. And we're less than 40 days. We're pushing a month until spring training starts. Keith, are you back?
I'm back, but I don't know. You guys got to tell me. Do you hear me on this microphone? Can
I
you hear
can't
me
hear
at
you now.
home?
Let's see if the chat can hear you.
Boo. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me on this other mic? They can't hear me on this other mic.
Barely hear you.
But you can hear me on the MacBook mic. And I'm going to go back to just my regular studio mic. No, see the regular studio mic. I didn't even say anything, and I heard that chipmunk sound. I heard that chipmunk sound out of this mic. Maybe this mic is just freaking fried. I did buy this mic a long time ago. It may be cooked now. It may have run its course. But anyway, I feel like I'm killing the show. I'm ruining our show, Ben. And actually, I had somebody else that wanted to join us. Let me check on him.
I'm watching from the YouTube. Now it's going to my headphones that I can hear you.
Yeah, but I just heard the chipmunk sound again. Are you guys hearing this chipmunk sound again? I'm hearing the chipmunk sound again. No, now I'm on YouTube. It sounds fine. It sounds fine. Okay.
I don't think I think I'm not
on
yeah,
Twitch
I'm not
we
hearing
hear it.
anything from StreamYard, but then when I go to YouTube, it's fine.
Okay, well, let's proceed here. I said we got another guy joining us, repping the New Jersey Nets. The Nets were kicking the Bulls' ass. I was watching that for a little bit. Then it was halftime. Welcome in, Andrew Hefner. What's up, my boy? You're in there. Check your audio because my audio has been screwing up. I've been messing up the entire stream. Hopefully, you're good and ready to go. How are you?
Pretty good, Keith. Hopefully, you can hear me okay. We're all set.
I mean, you sound good. It's clear. I'm the one having issues, and I'm the one that does this every single day. I'm the one that does this for a living professionally. I don't know what the hell is going on, but yeah, thanks for pulling up. We're in there now, man. So we already weighed in on, Bo Bichette and Kyle Tucker, and I'm going to get into the Dodgers a little bit more, but let's welcome Andrew in. Andrew is a young guy, and I, same way that I, gave Ben his flowers, I'll give you your flowers. Andrew's a young guy hustling, trying to come up in the game himself. And he's run into me at the Somerset Patriots game. We did an interview there. He ran into me at spring training. We did an interview there. And I just appreciate young go-getters, man. He asked me for an interview. We did the interview. He clipped it up. He posted it, edited it, boom, and put it out there. So he's making waves in his school. He had a nice little article where it mentioned me. And I'm extremely flattered to be a role model and somebody that guys like you and Ben look up to. And I'll obviously share my platform like I am tonight. So Ben just stepped out. And let's see. I don't know if Ben's issues are sorted. But, Andrew, I will give you the floor to kind of just let people know who you are, where you're coming from, and what you like to talk about. And I'll pop back in when you're done.
Amazing. Well, first of all, thank you, Keith, for having me, and thank you for kind of giving me that spotlight over the last couple of times we run into each other, whether that's at spring training or Fanatics Fest or wherever that may be. I also want to say hi to the Twin Stripe reporters in the chat. I've gotten to know them over the summer, Cooper and Carter as well, so it's great to see them. This was Jason Kidd jersey for the New Jersey Nets. I always like to rep New Jersey. And really a majority of what I do right now is New Jersey college basketball coverage and college football coverage. So I write about the Princeton Tigers for the men's team, who, of course, last year had a pretty great season with Xavier Lee and Capen Pierce. And I'm really into basketball, but I want to get into baseball as well. I'm a massive Yankees fan. But I really want to make sure that sports in New Jersey are properly highlighted. And watching the Nets right now, it really just sold the lead. They're only up by 2, so hopefully we'll hold on to this one against the Bulls. But yeah.
The Nets always do this, man. They make you think that they got a win in the bag, and then late in the game, they find a way to blow it.
I mean, I just like watching. I feel like every time I'm glancing over right now, it's just Jordy Fernandez with his hands on his head trying to figure out what's going on. So hopefully this one works out and maybe MPJ will hit a nice contested 3 with a million guys around him, as it seems that he always can figure out how to do towards the end of these games.
We'll bring Ben back in, and what I'll tell you young guys is do everything. And even if you're competing in sports, play everything. I played everything as far as football, basketball, baseball until I was like 13. And then, in my town and even my mom, they made me specialize in football. It worked out, but who knows what could have happened if I played baseball longer, basketball longer. And then as far as covering sports, I covered football, basketball, baseball. I've done podcasts on all of them. I got to WFAN and I picked up hockey. Like, just if you love it and you want to work in it, just do as much as you can, because you never know what opportunity is going to come up, and you want to be well versed and you want to be able to add value wherever. So like, it could be covering high school basketball, college basketball. Good. It could be doing football. It could be doing baseball. It might not be like your number one at that time, but you want to be able to talk the sport. You want to know the players. You want to know the X's and O's. You want to know some of the history. You want to be well versed enough where if an opportunity comes up in any one of those specific sports, you don't feel like, well, that's not for me, I can't do it. You want to feel like, yeah, I'm ready to go. So speaking of being ready to go, let's get back to the chat with everybody, and then I'll hit, a couple more of the like talking points that I had. We'll kind of reset now that Andrew is in here. So let's see. I know we were sorting out some of the technical difficulties, really my own issues with my microphone. So I'm seeing that. Shout out to my boy a day in here. He said that mic is fine. John Rubio popped up. What up, KM? And now I'm sorting through some of the other stuff. Nets repping. You already know. I'm sure we got some Jersey energy in here whenever you have me in here. And then when you bring Andrew in repping, of course you got Jersey energy. Twin Stripe reporters showing love. That Nets jersey's fire. Who is it? He said it was J Kidd, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I've got the J Kidd. Not like that. I've got the Vince Carter like that.
I like having New Jersey right across my chest here.
And so Hakeem said, or my guy Ade, Hakeem Worldwide said, I think it was Ben. Now Ben is being accused of the chipmunk sound, but Ben and I have the same mic. I think he's just got the newer model, but this is a Shure MV7 microphone. It's like the standard podcast mic that everybody uses now. They're good microphones.
Yeah, I have the MV7 Plus, but yeah, same thing.
Yeah, you have the Plus. You have this was the first one, bro. Like I used to work at Guitar Center. Yeah. I used to get their newsletter. This came out in 2019, and I was like the first one in the store to get it. But slight little flex there. It's not a flex now because it's 6 years old. Anyway, shout out to Andrew for reposting the stream on Twitter. Let me go to Twitter. I always forget to do that. I'll retweet your tweet. And
appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, of course, bro. I somebody reached out to me on Facebook, and it was an older gentleman. And, I was doing the stream with Gabe yesterday, and I wrote a little story about how I came across Gabe. And, people will try to give me like a pat on the back for what I'm doing. And I'm like, you know what, bro? I wish that like there was a Keith McPherson type of dude that I could have had access to or connected to. I wish it was that easy to get to, some of the people I admired coming up. And like, I just try to pay it forward to you guys. You guys are the future. You guys are 20 years younger than me. Like, you guys will be doing this in 20 years, and I might be looking for a job. I might be like, hey, don't forget about me over here. You guys hire me to your company. So let's roll through the chat, and we'll get back to the conversation. We're talking baseball tonight. I got plenty of time. I plan on doing this till 11, and you guys feel free. If you got to jump off, if you got to dip out, just let us know. Eric says, Cam, you were a star QB. You did good, bro. Oh, no. I mean, I wasn't saying I didn't do good. I did great for myself as far as like, nobody was going to pay for me to go to college. I was able to play football and get 10 scholarships, but do everything, man, because, even like we're watching Trinidad Chambliss and they're talking about he played shortstop and some of the throws he makes, and you could tell he has that little bit of a shortstop flick in his throws, and, it's just good. So, shout out to Chase Ballion, young boy in the chat. What up, Chase? Let's get back to it. Steve from Freehold says, if the Mets were serious about winning, they would with Bellinger. I don't think that's like, I think they're serious about winning. They spent a lot of money this offseason. Like, let me go to this. Let me see what else I had cooked up. They spent a lot of money. Do we have the Mets total payroll? That number's gone up, right? Let's see. Up there it says, Kyle Tucker, 80% of the Miami Marlins payroll. Here's the combined AAVs in 2026. That number went up. This was before the Bo Bichette contract. So listen, the money that Scott Boras is asking for Cody Bellinger, I still think is high, but it makes a lot more sense now when you see Bo Bichette get 42 and Kyle Tucker get 57, 60. Like, it makes a lot more sense that Boras is like, no, my guy's looking for 36, 37.
If
What do you guys
anything,
think?
I think Belly's value went up after Tucker signed. I think that was my initial reaction. Like Bellinger's value just went through the roof because he's really the last big fish on the market now. And I guess Bo Bichette could have counted in that category, but I was thinking more Tucker, Bellinger, two outfield guys, both top of the free agent class. I don't think it's that crazy once you see Bichette getting 42. Listen, I think Tucker getting whatever it is, 57 a year is craziness. I think Bichette getting 42 is crazier.
Nah, it's wild, bro, because it's just like, we're going to a lockout. We're going to lockout, bro. Like, it's
100%.
December
But the thing
1st.
is-
Mark your calendars. I don't know how long it's going to be, but they have to lock out to sort through this because there's going to be a lot of owners that are like, no, we can't play these games. And then the players are going to say, no, yes, you will. We're not taking less. We're not taking a salary cap.
But the thing, yeah, like you said, the players won't take a salary cap. So how are you gonna counteract this this inflation of contracts? These contracts have gone through the roof. I feel like it's just the past couple of years alone, it's gone up so much. And this is where you're thinking when you sign Tucker now in 4 years, that 60 million, 57 million a year, it's not going to be that crazy because everyone else is going to be up around that area as well. You look at Giancarlo Stanton's contract right now. When he signed it, it was like, holy cow, that's a ton of money for Stanton. But now he's not even making that much. And I get he's at a different point in his career. But you get the point because where he was a mammoth in this sport.
Yeah, I actually went down to Miami. I always told the story on WFAN about going down to Miami that weekend. I was supposed to go to Puerto Rico, but there was a hurricane that ended that. So we pivoted and went to Miami, and I kind of like nudged my wife. I'm like, hey, Giancarlo Stanton might hit 60, 61, 62 home runs this weekend. Like, we should go see Stanton. He didn't hit one. But little did I know, as I was wearing a Derek Jeter jersey in Marlins Park when it was called Marlins Park, little did I know that Brian Cashman was going to trade for him the next year. And that felt like a evil empire move. The Yankees taking on that massive contract that the Marlins made for Giancarlo Stanton. Fast forward all these years, it was a redundant move. You already had a muscle-bound, home run hitting MVP right fielder, and now you've got Stanton's clunky ass who can barely run, can only DH. But luckily that money goes down this year. Can I give a shout out right now to Metro Mafia Media? They're a little bit older than you guys, but I'm assuming this is James Starr who pulled up. They are making moves on Instagram, and I just kind of saw these guys outside of Citi Field. I saw these guys in Billy's interviewing people, making content, and like, I'm telling you, I support everyone almost to a fault. Like, I support everyone because I just think that there's enough room at the table for everybody. I think everybody eats and everybody's gonna eat. And hey, I mean, if you know anything about what I'm doing next Saturday, it kind of is on the same line of thinking as what I just said. Like, we got to start to get more of the content creators together and people collabing and people exchanging information and people building like a community of content creators together. So if you're in New York City, West Village, Saturday, January 24th, 2 to 5, my guys at Bleecker Trading, they're hosting the first ever content creator roundtable. And the whole thing is like, I'm going to go in there and tell everybody my story about how I just threw stuff at the wall. Like, I didn't have anybody put me on. I didn't have any connections. I got noticed through doing videos, and I now have like 9-10 years of like videos of me building to being where I am. And if I can do it, anybody can do it. Literally, if I could do it, anybody could do it too. So, shout out to Metro Mafia in the chat. Let's get back to talking about everything that we're supposed to be talking about here. I got some things to throw up there to you guys. So I showed the Bo Bichette, right, signing a 3-year, $126 million deal. And I loved it because I felt like tough week for Philly fans. The Phillies had agreed to Bo Bichette's request for a 7-year, $200 million deal last night and believed they would sign him until the Mets swooped in with their 3-year, $126 million offer after losing out in the Kyle Tucker sweepstakes. I'll pass it to you guys right after I say this. Shout out to Bob Nightingale, who a lot of people troll and make fun of because he's usually wrong. In free agency, this is what you have to do. There are only a certain amount of free agents that are impact players. And I mean, this is what the Mets like to do. I felt like this was more of a Steve Cohen move because I remember when Carlos Correa, remember he swooped in to try and get Carlos Correa. It didn't work out, but he swooped in to go get him. And if you can take a player from your division rival, awesome. So as much as I troll the Mets, as much as my initial reaction was, ew, Bo Bichette signs with the Mets, I can tip my cap to the Mets and say, touche. These guys down the turnpike had him locked up for 7 years, and in the middle of the night, you came in with a better deal. They said Carlos Mendoza has a relationship with Dante Bichette, his pops, I believe. And I'll add one more thing here. Let me airdrop it. You know, if that is true, like relationships, that's business. That's how things get done. And now the Mets add a hitter like that to this lineup, like Lindor, Soto, Bichette. That's crazy. Like, I don't know who's going to pitch for him, but that's crazy. And you know what's like not crazy? The money. It seems like a lot for Bo Bichette, but when you were willing to pay Kyle Tucker that much, and this falls into David Stern's plan of short-term deals. He's got an opt-out after this first year. Like I saw Howie Rose say, I don't like this deal because it's got an opt-out. So what? Bo Bichette could play here for a year and not want to come back, but you don't worry about that. This is what you worry about. Dante Bichette in 14 seasons, $42 million. Bo Bichette's next 3 seasons, $45 million a year. Insane. All right, fellas. Since we got Ben the Met fan, Ben, go first, and then Andrew, you take it away.
Yeah, I think I hit on this a little bit earlier, but stealing Bichette from the Phillies is my favorite part of this deal. But getting to his bat, it's going to be so nice to have a guy who can actually hit with runners in scoring position in the lineup. I think I saw a post earlier today. I forget what the exact stat was, but it was talking about how Bichette was one of the better hitters with runners on base in the league. How many times with the Mets last year did they get runners on first and second with no outs, 1 out, and then they couldn't cash in? That has to change. If you're going to win games, if you're going to go to the playoffs like the Mets are expected to do, you have to be able to cash in. You have to be able to come through on good opportunities. And yeah, he strikes out a lot, but he also hits a lot of homers. So I'm going to enjoy watching him hit the baseball for the next 3 years.
Yeah, I mean, Ben kind of touched on how he found out about this deal earlier. I don't have my phone at school. We have to hand him in the morning. So, and sometimes one of my teachers is nice enough to email me when something breaks. But I decided at the end of chem class, I should look on Twitter just because, you know, maybe there's some fallout going on with Tucker and that deal, or maybe the Yankees re-offered Belly something new. You know, I got to be hopeful still. And the first post I see is a graphic, and it's Bo Bichette now makes more than Aaron Judge. And I sit there and I'm like, okay, and I scroll a little further down and I see this deal. And I really did think that Bo Bichette was not going to go to the Phillies. I didn't think that deal was going to work out. There was definitely going to be someone to swoop in, whether that would be the Blue Jays, maybe wanting to give a little more and try to retain him because really he is a fan favorite up there, or the Mets, which is what ended up happening. Listen, I think that, like Keith said, it's good to get him away from the Yankees. I really don't like facing him at all, as most Yankees fans don't like facing really anyone on that Blue Jays team from over the past couple of years that have really beat down on us. But listen, I'm totally fine with it. I think that it's definitely going to make it harder for the Yankees to sign Belly, and it's just going to drive up all of this AAV for the rest of the free agents still out there on the board. But to get Bichette, who is a Yankees killer, out of this division, I'm all for it.
It's only money. I think somebody said that in the chat. It's only money, and the Mets have to compete. Like, the Mets have to compete this year. They cannot miss the postseason this year. I guess they're going to figure out the pitching. I guess they're going to make some moves to try and trade for pitching. But, like, you now have multiple veterans like bona fide hitters in this lineup. You now have guys that have done it at the major league level that, like, without a question, you're starting to see David Stern's plan here. He didn't believe in the core of Pete Alonso, Brandon Nimmo, and Jeff McNeil. And I think this group is a group that, if they're healthy, they're going to be extremely potent. They're going to be extremely tough to deal with. So here is what I found online for the Mets projected lineup. Leading off, Francisco Lindor. Batting second, Juan Soto. Batting third, Bo Bichette. Batting fourth, Jorge Polanco at first base. Batting fifth, Marcus Semien at second base. The DH, Brett Beatty, batting sixth, that lefty bat. Brett Beatty Bonds, I used to call him. Francisco Alvarez batting seventh, catching. Carson Bange in left field, batting eighth. And then Tyrone Taylor batting ninth in center field. What do you guys think about this projected lineup? Ben, you're making a face, so I'll go to you first.
I don't think Carson Bench is going to be ready opening day. I think he still needs some more time to develop and sharpen his sword in the minor leagues. So that's where I think the idea of bringing in maybe a Harrison Bader who can play center field another second tour in New York with the Mets. Maybe he plays center. Tyrone Taylor can slot in left field. Or Jeff Passan was posting today that the Mets are thinking about moving Beatty to left. Maybe you do that. I just don't think Benj is ready to play in New York yet. And I like Beatty's defense. I don't want to send him to the dugout when the team goes out to the field. I would rather have Vientos. The idea of him having a bounce back year entices me. I think it's in him. I know it's in him. We saw it in 24 when he was on fire all the way down the stretch and all the way through the postseason. I don't think that was a one-off. I think that was real talent. He could be trade piece for a starting pitcher. But staying on the topic of pitching, I think the Mets are just going to try to piece it together with all the young guys they got. They have Nolan McLean, Jonah Tong. I don't know if he's ready. Maybe Brandon Sproat. They've been real hesitant to bring him up. But you're going to get Christian Scott back, who showed you a lot in 24 before going down with Tommy John. But getting back to the lineup as I wrap up this point I'm trying to make, they're going to be able to hit. The key is, when are they going to be able to hit? Are they going to be able to do it when the game is still in hand? Because I feel so much of the time the Mets will hit a 2-run homer when it's already 7-2 in the 8th inning. That happens way too often. The Mets have to do it when they're still in games. And I think this lineup is definitely capable of doing it. We've seen a lot of these guys hit the ball really well before in their careers.
Andrew, your thoughts?
Yeah, well, first of all, I want to shout out MPJ. I don't know if you saw yet.
Did he have the game winner?
Yep. So happy about that. I don't really know how to root for the Nets at this point in the season. I don't know what's going on, but we're okay. I'll take it.
You always take a win, man. I mean, they lost to the Grizzlies close, the Pelicans close, the Magic close. I'll take a win. So, hey, before you get into it, bro, I have the capabilities of sharing my screen. Let's go and share that right now. As you guys can see here, Michael Porter Jr., MPJ, are they going to trade him?
26 for Michael. Bulls have a foul to give. Porter gets inside, and Porter beats it home.
Let's go. Good night to go to the game. They got the Biggie jerseys tonight. They honored Tim Capstraw tonight.
26 for Michael Porter Jr.
He's like that. He's like that.
I mean,
that's what happens. That's what happens when you're when you come to Brooklyn and you're healthy and you get to meet Ice Spice, and I'll leave it at that. You get to meet Ice Spice, and
I mean,
you end up being nice.
I was at the Nuggets game a couple weeks ago when they came to town. I mean, I was really hoping I would get to see Jokic and stuff, but ticket prices went down a little bit once that news kind of came out. But I mean, I had so much fun there, and that was the game where Zaire Williams had that full court heave that didn't count, and everyone in the stadium had no idea what was going on. So I'm having some fun watching the Nets over the past couple of weeks. But going to the Mets, listen, having a hitter like that behind Juan Soto, we saw it with the Yankees a couple years ago with Judge. That's just such an incredible place to slot him into that lineup, because he's going to do damage with Soto, hopefully picking up some big walks throughout the season and getting involved. And like Ben said, maybe those involvements will come while the Mets are getting blown out in the bottom of the 8th inning or something like that. But really, any success that a duo like Soto and Bichette can have together is going to make a big difference in the top of that lineup. And then you got Lindor in front of them as well. So you got 2 guys who can really get on base, and then 2 guys behind them who can do some damage. And then bottom of the lineup, that's a young core that's really, I think that they are there's a high upside there. I don't know exactly how they're going to perform this year. Maybe Ben can give a little more input into that. But I wouldn't be too sure about the strength of the bottom of the lineup for right now.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be anything too special. And unless, like I said before, Vientos has a nice bounce back year. Alvarez can stay healthy and be productive. We've seen Tyrone Taylor go on stretches before, but he's not really a guy that's going to produce a ton for you. I think the bottom of the lineup is going to be mediocre. They're really banking on the top of the lineup being one of the best in the sport of baseball, which is going to be hard when you have teams like the Dodgers and teams like the Yankees who have stacked lineups in the Dodgers case 1 through 9. I don't know about the Yankees because they've got guys like, Anthony Volpe in that lineup. But overall, I don't think
you will not see Anthony Volpe in the Yankees lineup until June at the earliest.
But you can't judge a team based on the bottom of the lineup. I think the more concerning piece of the Mets right now is their pitching. The starting lineup might be okay if the young guys do what the Mets have been hyping them up to do the past couple years, but the bigger issue is the bullpen, and Steve from Freehold is pointing it out in the chat. They've got no one. Luke Weaver was okay a couple years ago. Devin Williams, maybe David Stearns can tap into some of the analytics they utilized in Milwaukee, but that the Yankees might not have uncovered. But overall, I'm not loving the bullpen. Ryan Stanek's gone. I thought he was a gamer. Anytime you needed a big out from him in a big game, let me clarify, a big game, you would get it. But they don't have a closer right now, so there's not much. Devin Williams
is your closer, bro. What are you talking about? Devin Williams is your closer, the airbender.
I watched him play in New York and in the Bronx last year, Keith. I'm good. Trust.
I watched him too live. I don't know. It's not going to go the way you guys think it's going to go. Like, for example, Brian Cashman traded for him. He traded away Nestor Cortez, Caleb Durbin, whatever. Caleb Durbin won't be missed. Nestor certainly won't be missed. But, you traded for the guy. You changed the beard policy for the guy. And you carved out a role for the guy to be your closer. Clay Holmes goes to the Mets. Luke Weaver, you wanted to be your setup guy. Opening day, I always tell this story. I was in Delta, in the Delta Suite area, visiting a friend of mine. Shout out to David. And there was this 9-year-old kid in front of me. When Devin Williams comes out, it took him 37 pitches to close the game to get 3 outs. There was a 9-year-old kid in front of me mercifully booing him. Boo. He was in. This is a 9-year-old kid in full pinstripes and in Yankee gear, and I'm tapping the kid like, "Yo, chill. We need this guy. This is his first time. This is his first outing against his former team. As you guys remember, we opened up against the Brewers. I was trying to give Devin Williams some love, like, yo, chill. You guys, right? The last time we saw Devin Williams before opening day last year, you Mets fans broke him, right? Pete Alonso's his daddy. Remember, he hit that home run in Miller Park, to help the Mets win. And now that you've paid that guy and brought him in, I don't know what you're expecting, but I just think it's going to be a bumpy road, and it is not going to be like sound the trumpets Edwin Diaz. Sometimes he's going to be good. Sometimes he's not. Sometimes he's going to walk guys. Sometimes he's going to give up home runs. Sometimes he's going to throw that airbender and they can't hit it. But it's going to be a different vibe this year when Devin Williams is blowing games for the Mets. And Luke Weaver, I don't think you want to move him to being your your closer either. It's just not. You had one of the best closers in the game, and now you're banking on Devin Williams to like turn back the clock in New York and be the version of himself that was in Milwaukee. And I don't know, but this is a good time to segue into something I do know. And I was going in a little bit today because I was like, yo, this is not clocking to you guys, right? I was putting this stuff up on Twitter. The levels of not understanding how most of this works is at an all-time high on Twitter. Just fake outrage and crying. Dodgers have found multiple loopholes. Good for them. It's not something everybody can do. Use ChatGPT or Google AI. It's not hard to look things up. Who are the Guggenheim partners? What do they do? How much of Ohtani's contract is deferred? How much deferred money do the Dodgers have in contracts? How much money do the Dodgers make off Japanese advertisers and TV? Okay, hold on. Put a pin in that one. We already gave a shout out to the Metro Mafia. And I told you guys that James Starr would be joining us. I think he's set up and ready backstage. Let's add James to the stage now. James is in there.
Guys?
What's up? Repping the Metropolitans. So now we've got two Yankee fans and two Mets fans.
There we go. I like that.
So perfect timing because I'm talking about the Dodgers and I'm going to go on my soapbox again. I'm going to rant and then I'll pass it right to you to weigh in, right? So talking about, the Dodgers and Guggenheim Partners. Boom. Here's the ChatGPT. Guggenheim Partners is a global investment and advisory firm, right? They do investment management, investment banking and advisory, wealth management, insurance and annuities. You don't need to read all of that. But what you need to know is this little bit of baseball money that they're dealing with the Dodgers, it's not a lot of money to them. It is not a lot of money to them. They do not care about this little bit of money. Boom. The Dodgers roster currently has a combined $1.08 billion in deferred money. Over $1 billion deferred. Do you understand how different that is from what the Yankees did? I'm getting an echo from somebody. It's all good. Somebody, you probably just got to mute if that's coming in from a speaker, but I'm on my rant and I'm going to pass it to you guys right after I do this because it was pissing me off today. I saw Colin Cowherd and all these other pundits and people on Twitter talking about, oh, it was okay when the Yankees were doing it. The Yankees never did this. This is not like the Yankees at all. I understand the Yankees spent more than others. I understand the Yankees won 3 championships in a row. I got the banner up there. I lived through it. Colin Cowherd, I said, just stop. It's got nothing to do with the New York Yankees, right? He said regarding Kyle Tucker's deal, playoff and World Series ratings have been up. Yes. And I will say, hey, it's good for baseball. People watch the World Series. But then he says Yankee fans loved owning the hot stove signings with George Steinbrenner leading the charge. Never once heard fans calling WFAN that were deeply concerned about the sport's balance. Bro, I said there was no Ohtani-type player or Ohtani-type contract on the Dynasty Yankees that hit the 3-peat. It's a lazy take to compare what the Dodgers are doing to what George Steinbrenner did. It's not even close with the deferrals and superstars they bring in. Did you forget the core 4? Core 5? I know everybody kept saying Bernie. Trust me, I don't think any of you guys love Bernie Williams any more than me. It's core 5 because it's core 4 because it rhymes. It's core 5 in reality, but and we can add Tino Martinez and others to it. Ohtani never gave the Yankees the time of day. I don't fuck with him. Free Ippei. If you think the Yanks could be doing what the Dodgers are doing, you're cooked. A unicorn DH starting pitcher cash cow from Japan defers most of his contract, and everyone follows. They can get whoever they want after. I'm getting there. Don't forget about the Dodgers TV deal. Many are justifying the Kyle Tucker signing by saying that any owner could spend like the Dodgers, but they just don't want to win enough. This is the most idiotic take I've ever seen. It shows you nothing about the business side. It shows you know nothing about the business side of the game. MLB let Dodgers keep almost all of their TV money. They are the only team that gets to do this because of negotiations during the McCourt bankruptcy. The McCourt bankruptcy came from the McCourt divorce. The former owners of the Dodgers, you got to go back years to understand that. Follow me here. I'm getting there. After the bankruptcy settlement, They negotiated the largest local TV deal in all of MLB, but the settlement amount subject to revenue share was based on the old contract. They do not have to share most of their TV money, and this is what allows the insane spending. Again, they are one of 30 teams to get this carve out from the league, and the only team who could even attempt to spend like this. Stop saying the other owners are cheap. None of them have a special exemption on revenue sharing for their TV contracts like the Dodgers do. MLB created this situation, right? The Dodgers have Sportsnet LA. It's their regional sports network, kind of like the Yes Network, kind of like SNY. It used to be Time Warner Cable, but like them owning that, they also own the Japanese market. Now can I put my solo up? They also own the Japanese market that are watching these games. When Ohtani is playing, when Yamamoto is playing, when Roki Sasaki is playing, Japan is watching the Dodgers games. They are cash cows. This all starts and ends with Shohei Ohtani. Do you understand what I'm saying? There's so much money that they are playing with that other teams are not playing with. And I'll bring myself back out and we'll pass it around. I'll let James take it away because he's the most recent to join the chat and a Met fan that's dealing with this world of like, no matter what you do, you got to deal with the Dodgers. But I just was like really trying to stress to people, there is no other team run by the Guggenheim partners who have billions of dollars, and this is what they do, investing. They probably have all of these players investing the money, and I know the deferred money goes to escrow. They've got it mapped out. They made that $700 million for Ohtani's contract back in a year, and when you go to the World Series, you print money. Sorry, I got to do this like this. I tried to solo myself. When the Yankees went to the World Series and hosted 3 games, they made an estimated extra $110 million. So what do you think the Dodgers made extra going to back-to-back World Series? What do you think the Dodgers made by winning back-to-back World Series? What do you think the Dodgers made by having 2 parades and merchandise and parties in LA? No more parties in LA. I'm done. Back to you guys. James, take it away. Your mic on? You good? We're not hearing James? Or is that
on?
me? Okay, yeah, James is good. Go for it.
Let me see.
You're not hearing me? You got me? You guys are not hearing me? You guys are hearing me? You're not hearing me? Okay, well, I was trying to pass the mic to James. But you guys heard my whole rant about Ohtani and the Dodgers, right? I'm telling you, I know a couple things. I've been watching this happen.
Now I can hear someone.
Nah, I could hear it.
Okay, James, the floor is yours.
Nah, I lost it. You guys hear me?
I hear you, I think, backstage,
Is it
not
me?
on
I don't hear
stage.
you guys.
Nah. Because I think I can hear you backstage. Let me check the chat. Were you guys hearing James in the chat? Were you hearing James? I know you guys were hearing me. I know you guys were hearing my rant. Let's see if I can add James to the stage first.
Was it just me that was mute? Do you guys hear me now?
I think so. Take it away.
Yeah, I mean, so at the end of the day, the Dodgers are really loaded. They're loaded. They're tough to compete with. I saw something today. It was actually kind of funny. They were like, thinking back in the past, they said the Yankees dodged a bullet by not getting Shohei Ohtani. I think that they wish they took that back because now this team is totally stacked. They have all the money in the world. And the thing is, they're not afraid to spend it. And the thing that's scary is this is kind of what we were told as Met fans that Steve Cohen was going to do. Steve Cohen was going to be this type of owner and just spend all this money, get all this talent. And at first, it kind of feels like he did do that. But we kind of collapsed in 2022, I believe it was. Or was it? Yeah, 2022, Max Scherzer against the Padres. That season, we tried to buy a lot of talent, and it fell apart. But this is pretty much what the Dodgers are doing, and they're probably making a ton of money. They have a whole country behind them with all these Japanese players, and they're pushing it hard. They know that this is their pocket. They're going to keep building and building and building and building a dynasty. They're selling all over, and they're not going to stop. And it's pretty much either you pay to play or you're going to be gone. There's no competition. And to be honest, I know you're a big Yankee fan, but they're gonna leave the Met fans. We already got to play catch up, but the Yankee fans, they're even putting them in the dust a little bit if they keep doing what they're doing.
They're not leaving us in the dust. We're gonna lock out. You wait.
They're the new face. They're the new face. It's not the 90s anymore.
They might three-peat. They might erase our history. But then
they might.
December 1st, we're locking out.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. Keith, once again, thank you for having me on.
Yo, bro, it's good to connect with you, man. I've been supporting you guys. I think you heard what I said, just like kind of catching you guys content, and then we made contact on Instagram. I really loved that you guys have the Metro Mafia, and now that they're done with these Metro cards, you know, you guys got to keep that Metro Mafia logo forever because it's going to be iconic.
We were thinking about switching it around, but sometimes it's like we think we still want to keep it. But like, I got it right here, the infamous mic right here.
Yeah, and mic. I just have a ton of respect for people that go out there into the crowds, because I've done it, right? I started doing that in 2015, man on the street content. But I got a ton of respect for you guys just going out there hustling and getting interviews and clipping it up and building your content. I hope you guys continue to grow. I used you as like a segue into, talking about the event that I'm doing, because I really want to get all the content creators together that cover sports in New York, because the algorithm's going to know when we're all in the same place, the Bleaker Trading event that I was talking about. And like, we all got to just like collab and not compete, right? We all got to share tips and tricks and free game, and, let the guy know next to you what editing tricks you use or what posting methods or things you do or where you go. Like, and then like, as we all kind of grow and pop up in each other's content, sky's the limit. So yeah, man, I mean, even though I'm labeled as a Met hater, and a Met troll, there are a lot of Met fans that I'm rooting for and that I'm even quietly helping behind the scenes build their content and their podcasts and stuff like that. I'm booked for a couple Met fan podcasts coming up. And like I used to say on the radio, I don't hate the Mets. These are my Mets. Like, I've never watched an era of the Mets more closely than this Steve Cohen era of the Mets. And when the Mets are good, it's good for the city, bro. Like, I was the one when they did have the run in 2024, when they did have the OMG Mets, I was the first voice on in New York City taking those calls and talking about the games. And like, I wasn't trolling then, right? When they went to Atlanta and, they won game 161, when they went to Milwaukee and they won those games, when they smacked the Phillies, I'm like, this is a magical time. I just understand how big it is for the city. So I hope both the Mets and the Yankees do compete and contend this year. And let's just not throw our hands in the air and say, oh, it's the Dodgers. Nobody can beat the Dodgers. The Dodgers are going to win. And like, the games still, they have to be played. The games still have to be played. It's baseball, and that ball can bounce any kind of way. The Blue Jays were this close to winning it. So we don't know. No, I don't. I was damn near crying on the radio. Because they went back to Toronto with 2 games, and I'm like, how do they not win? They have 2 games in their building. How do they not win the World Series? And I was even calling out Cashman. I was like,
best World Series though.
It might be the best World Series ever. I was calling out Cashman and the Yankees. I said that banner that they're going to hang in the Rogers Center, that shit better burn you, because you had the tiebreaker. You got owned by them all year. It's your fault. There's blood on your hands. And you know what? You punted 2 games in the division round against them, right? You had Paul Blackburn on the mound. You had Will Warren on the mound. You had these guys pitching in the postseason like it was the freaking regular season. Long men, right?
Yeah.
Just giving the game up. You don't do that in the postseason. You got to fight every pitch, every out, every inning. And I was, boy, was I in my feelings. I already played the sad sax. I should have played it again. I was Brian Cashman. This is all you, Cash. This is all your fault. You didn't do enough. Aaron Boone, I told you stop leading off Trent Grisham. Aaron Boone, Will Warren never came out of the bullpen. Paul Blackburn shouldn't even be on this team. I hate Vladdy. Did you see what he did to us? Yeah, anyway. Ben is back. I brought Ben back, a young Mets fan. Now we got all four of us in here. Keith, how can anyone still be a Mets fan? Seriously. I'll let you guys answer that.
Steve, like that teenager said outside MetLife Stadium, wearing a black Jets jersey after the Jets dropped yet another game. I'm not a Jet fan. Thankfully, I'm a Giant fan. I was born into this. This is my 16th year here. We have not won anything. The closest we got was the 2015 World Series, and we got gentlemen swept. I was at game 4 of that World Series. I was in kindergarten.
Were you around in 2006? Were you around?
Game 6, probably
2006, 2006.
No, 2009. I was born.
Yeah, I was gonna say you in 2006. You didn't live through that pain. You didn't live through that pain of 2007 either.
2007 was worse.
And Chavez caught the ball.
No, I've heard about it. I've read about it.
That was the most depressing train ride.
He saw it with his own eyes. He lived it. He said the Mets give you such great content. They do. And it's funny. I meet grown men. I meet people in business that are like your show, but I'm a Mets fan. And what I try to explain to them is I got on WFAN and I realized there was a lane that had never been taken. They never had a Yankee fan troll the Met fan in the way that I did it and twist in their back and just Hawk Tua Girl Day. That was my favorite day on the radio. The day that Hawk Tua Girl threw out the first pitch and the Mets blew that game to the Oakland A's. The jokes wrote themselves. So that's the thing, right? You got to stand out. And people are like, "Oh, bold of you to alienate half your audience." I'm like, I'm alienating half the audience anyway. I'm a bleacher creature. I came from the middle of Yankee Stadium. I'm from the middle of the Yankee universe. If you knew anything about me, I got here and built my following through Yankee fans. I was the last Yankee cave dweller. I am a Yankee fan. So there are some Met fans that are never going to rock with me, but I just knew on air to twist that knife and to get at Met fans. And it was a good run. It was a good run. I'll be back on the fan. Actually, I mean, I don't let too much out. But a week from today, a week from right now, I'll be on WFAN, and people, definitely some Met fans. You know what was the craziest shit? There were Met fans that put up the Hitler's dead picture when I when I basically stepped down. I wish I gotta find it, bro. There were Met fans. I'm gonna find that shit because there were Met fans that put up the Hitler's dead picture and quote tweeted my resignation video, and I'm like, wow. I'm like, is that how you feel? I'm Hitler to you guys? I'm like, damn, maybe some people took this too serious. I don't hate the Mets. These are my Mets. Yeah. And it's showbiz. It's theater. Positive Tommy has his whole shtick. And these guys, you go on there and you got to be bombastic. You got to, you got to lean into it. You're performing. And I knew, I'm like, this is too easy for me to lean into just trolling the Met fans and just killing it. It was okay. I'm finding it now. But it's the rivalry too. I'll say that, I hate when people are they'll call me up on the fan. I'm like, I'm from New York. I root for both teams. No, you don't. You can't. You're not allowed. I'm vetoing that. No, motion denied. You cannot be fans of both because you're a New Yorker. Sorry. Pick a side. It's always been this way. It's always going to be that way.
Keith, the first time I ever listened to your show, I was in the car coming home from Madison Square Garden after the first Knicks game I ever went to. It was Knicks Nets. The Knicks were up by like 20 after the first half. And the second half, the Nets just started chipping away. Eventually,
Cam Thomas
hits like a 35-foot three to seal the deal. I was so mad after that game. I'm in the car. You're all bing bong, bing bong. I was so mad. I hated you, and then I started listening to your show, and obviously I don't hate you anymore.
Bing bong. Bing bong.
There we go.
Oh, that night was so funny. I was at WFAN watching the game. And, you kind of start writing your open and writing up your show. And I thought the Nets were going to lose. And that night, I used to be in what was called the Brooklyn Brigade, the block, like the super fans for the Nets that do all the let's go Nets, the Brooklyn chant. And I was supposed to go, but I had the show that night. They took a group of Nets fans to the Garden and had a whole section. And you could hear them chant Brooklyn. And I know some of them. So I'm texting some of them yo, I can hear y'all. Y'all rocking it. Keep it going. We're going to come back. We're going to win. And Cam Thomas hit that shot. Oh, the trolling, bro. I got on air and I couldn't help it. I think we played some I forget what kind of music we played, but I just knew. I'm like you got to do things like that to stand out. And I also knew that the Nets are never good. It was short-lived. I'm like, this is my opportunity. This is my time. And I think the Nets had beat the Knicks 8 times in a row or something. It was 7 or 8 times in a row.
Was that the game that Nick Claxton was I've never lost to the Nets? Or I've never lost to the Knicks?
I think not long after that, because Katie and Kyrie never lost to the Knicks, not once.
Neither Katie or Kyrie played in that game. I know that.
Yeah, exactly. The Nets had a streak of 8 wins in a row against the Knicks. The Knicks were not good, and then it flipped on its head. And again, me being a professional, I knew. I'm stand down with the Nets talk. They have a squad now. And I can see it and I can hear it in New York, the passion of these fans. It ain't about your fandom. It's about the city. Your job is to host the radio show in New York after these games. Lean into it. And people are oh, you're not a Nets fan. I'm I'm a Nets fan, but I'm a professional, bro. I have a show to host. There are some people turning on this show in their car. They don't give a fuck about Keith McPherson. They don't know that I did 300 episodes of Talking Nets. They want to hear about the Knicks and the Knicks game. This is New York City. So, yeah, man, I didn't have a long run trolling the Knicks, but I did what I could. And for some reason, I cannot pull up these, let me see. I cannot pull up these quote tweets. That tweet went viral. The announcement tweet that I was stepping down from my job at WFAN did 7.4 million. And for some reason, you know how you can click on it and see the quoted view quotes? It says no quotes yet. It's too many. There's 234 of them.
When I first saw that post, I thought it was fake. I'm not gonna lie.
I know. Yeah, there's a lot of people that
troll so much. I thought it was another one.
They'll never make another one like me, man. There are multiple people that thought it was AI. I'm telling you, my phone blew up in a way where I was like, "Oh shit!" I was scared. I was like, the reaction from people to and I'll give you guys some inside baseball. I wasn't supposed to do that. I wasn't supposed to do that. That wasn't how it was supposed to be done. So, but I knew that I was done at WFAN as far as the nighttime capacity. I'll be on next Friday after the Nets play. Who do we play next Friday? We just played the Bulls, the Celtics, I believe. Let me check the calendar.
I know the Knicks are on Wednesday.
Yeah, when's Brunson? When big body Brunson coming back, bro? They need to get him a whole new ankle, bro.
I think he's questionable for tomorrow.
So yeah, 7:30 next Friday. The Celtics play in Brooklyn. Tatum won't be on the floor. Did you guys see Tatum? He said, "I'm ready." They had the camera on him. He said, "Yo, if Tatum comes back, he's definitely coming back.
He's going to."
But like, how soon? Now we're about to turn this into an NBA show. Whatever. How soon is Tatum? How soon is Tatum gonna come back? Because that's gonna affect the standings. Did you also see SGA telling KD like enjoy the 7th seed?
My biggest fear coming into this year was that Tatum was going to return in like record time, and the Celtics, and who are playing such good basketball.
Yeah, they're already two, but
right
like they're going to be the 1 seed, and they're going to lock it up. And then if you got to go through TD Garden,
I'm not scared of TD Garden. Did we watch the playoffs last year?
Yeah, good point. Could go back there, and it could be deja vu. Could go back there and it could be deja vu. But I'm
There's
like,
only one
Tatum,
Garden. There's only one
Tatum's
Garden.
about to come back. And how many games are they back? They're only 4.5 games back. I'm like,
yeah.
And then they're right there with the Knicks. I'm like, if Tatum comes back, they're gonna take over the Pistons and they're gonna create room. And it's like Celtics are gonna be right there at the top again, bro. Celtics gonna be right there at the top. Yo, we got another guy joining, man. Let me add this guy, and I, I've kind of given everybody their like intros, so let me give Justin his intro. Justin is the creator of a brand that we all can get down with called Forever Next Year. It's also a play on the letters NY, Forever New York. And I swear to God, Ben just mentioned the kid outside of MetLife Stadium after the Carolina Panthers game that said, I'm a Jet fan. I was born into this. Now, follow me here, right? Now I got to get my solo again. That video was shot by DeAndre McKenzie. And DeAndre McKenzie was shooting videos outside Yankee Stadium. I saw him. I then saw his content. I connected with him, and I was like, all right. I was like, yo, bro, I'm going to watch the Giants versus Broncos game at the Shannon in Hoboken. Yo, we should connect. We should meet. And he's like, I'm going to the Jets game. I'm going to shoot content. It's Panthers Jets. After at the game in East Rutherford, I'll slide to Hoboken. I'm like, all right, bet, no problem. So that video went viral. DeAndre shot that video at the Jet game that day. And he went to the Jet game with Justin, who's underneath me right here. And Justin came to Hoboken with DeAndre, another Universe Never Unconnects thing. I didn't know that they had the viral content that they were sitting on. And Justin's wearing the Forever New York shirt and introduces himself and explains his brand as like, he's a long-suffering Jet fan. And in New York, we're in a drought, and it's forever next year. It's always next year for Yankee fans, for Met fans, for Jet fans, for Giant. It's always next year. Next year, when are we going to win a championship? And I don't know, man. There was something in the air that day. I wish we had a camera on us. It was me.
Crazy.
It was Justin. It was DeAndre. My sister was there. My wife was there. We were literally outside in Hoboken just like chilling, watching the Broncos. And then that day, the Giants were up 19 points on the Broncos
They
and
blew a
lost
crazy
the
lead in the fourth.
That was a crazy game, man.
I'll never forget that day, bro. I'll never forget that day that I met DeAndre. And he had that viral video of the kid talking about, I'll always be a Jet fan, but I hate this team. And then Justin, and then I'll let Justin take it away because that's where I was introduced to his brand, Forever New York, Forever Next Year.
Yeah, I mean, bro, that was a crazy day. And I'd say the only part I'd add to that story is, so DeAndre and I had filmed, so I was actually holding the camera for DeAndre that day. So I was the one, I guess it had to be like 20, 30 fans that day. And like you said, we had no idea I didn't know he was going to clip that one to that, and that was going to go crazy. But DeAndre and I have been friends when I moved into New York City in 2021, and he turned out to be my neighbor. So just passing by, we were chopping it up, and before DeAndre started recording sports content, he would need help sometimes. We would go to Grand Central and just like record people and, for like, what inspired you today? And I would be there. I would be holding the camera for him. So, him and I just established this friendship over the years. And then it was just this random day where I was going to the Jet game, and I actually called him because I knew he was doing content. I said, yo, I'm at the game. Like, if you need help for your content, I'll hold the camera for you today because I'm trying to grow my own page Forever Next Year. And because it worked out, because then he allowed me to, he did the collab with me and whatever. But yeah, and then that's when he said to me, "Hey, I'm meeting this guy Keith. You know, I know you got things to do, but if you want to come, you should come with me. I'm going to Hoboken." And I was like, you know what? I'm kind of tired. Like, I don't know if I want to go. I don't really, I don't want to interrupt you guys. I'm kind of the odd man out here. But I just said, you know what? Screw it. I'm just gonna go. Like, who cares? And that's when we got connected. And like you said, it was one of those universal moments where, it just, and you fast forward to now, we've been, just chopping it up, and, it's been really awesome. So, thanks for the introduction there.
Yo, I'm not joking with y'all, bro. I have this vision and I'm putting it together, and I already told you guys about this right here.
Yeah.
Like, all of the content creators and dope sports fans in New York, we're going to start to put everybody together, and everybody's going to know each other, and we're all going to cross paths, and we're all going to connect, and we're all going to make money, and we're all going to have tickets to games, and we're all going to do business, and it's just going to be a mob of people that is just like, bro, where y'all at? Y'all at Fanatics Fest? Pull up. Oh, y'all going to the Yankee game tonight? Pull up. Oh, Giants game? Like, wait, like, I'm telling you guys, and I don't know exactly how I'm going to, like, make it all happen, but I have this vision of, like, we should all know each other. We should all be working together. We should all be collabing and not competing against each other. We should all be, like, referring each other business and opportunities and doing what I'm doing right here. Like, I sent you guys all this link to join tonight. We're obviously talking about the Dodgers and the Mets and Kyle Tucker and Bo Bichette, and we got into the Yankees a little bit, but like the common thing that we all have is we're in this greater New York City area. We love sports, we create content, and damn, we're waiting on one of our teams to win. I'd like to see you guys at a freaking parade.
Be crazy, man.
Bro, the amount of
I don't care
content you
what
can make
team
at a
wins,
parade.
I'm going to the parade.
It would be insane. I mean, to see just one of them, man. Mets, Jets, Knicks, one of them. I mean, those are my teams. But yeah, it would be crazy just to see any of us get it at this point.
I mean, yeah, it's everyone has a huge fan base, except maybe the Nets probably have the smallest, but even them, it'd
Right.
still be a mob
We're
of
getting there.
people. Yeah, I don't know about that, but it would still be just a ridiculous amount of people.
It would be insane.
And the Canyon of Heroes. Everyone has a fan base in New York. There's just so many people, so many sports fans. And I feel like we're talking around here. Yeah, if any team wins, I'm going to go out there. I think a lot of people have the same mindset. I just want to see one of these because you see them on TV. It looks insane. It looks like a ton of fun. I would go.
Yeah, 100%. We got to put New York back on the map. That's what it is.
How long have you guys
It's like
been? Yeah. Oh, go for it. Go for it.
No, I was saying, like, that's like when the Knicks were in the playoffs last year. It just keeps the city alive. Everyone's rooting for a team. It just builds it all up. Business booming, and everybody just loves watching New York sports. Honestly, when the New York sports are in the playoffs, when New York is in the playoffs, it's a different vibe. It just really is.
Well, I mean,
Whenever they go into the postseason.
I remember them
I'm
showing
sorry,
Knick
like-
games on the big board at Yankee Stadium, and everyone is going crazy.
Yeah, I was coming
Yeah,
back
exactly.
from the Subway series, and I came out of the Subway at MSG right when the Knicks took down the Celtics. And I come out, I'm happy, the Yankees won. And I come out, and there's people on traffic lights. There's the entire thing's flooded. NJ Transit's down, so I got to find a PATH station, and I'm just going through all this. And for the first time, I'm seeing like Knicks fans coming out. They're like, "You were just at the Yankees game, they won, right?" And like it was such a nice like collective feeling to see everyone kind of happy. I guess besides some of the Mets fans that might have been coming back with us, but that was just such an incredible night for New York sports.
That whole weekend was insane. It was Soto's return to the Bronx. I remember the Creatures turned their back
I
on
was there.
Soto. The Knicks won. That was peak New York sports weekend.
That was incredible.
Bro, and we're gonna have more. Like, I just always think back to COVID, and it makes me appreciate weekends like that. Like, cause like when COVID hit, we couldn't do shit, and like everything was shut down, and I was losing my mind.
Yeah.
I was panicking, bro. Especially because like I had quit my last job, and I don't know if you guys ever saw the video that I put out where like December 19th, 2019, I made a declaration that like I was going to work in sports and I was going to figure it out. And then the pandemic hit. I'm like, oh, well, what the hell do I do now? And I actually was working with John Boy. Thank God for John Boy and like John Boy's company coming to New York. I think I was like the 6th or 7th, like actually like hired paperwork employee. And it's funny, you know, people started this whole thing about John Boy. I'm getting off topic, but I'll bring it back. People started talking about this whole thing with like unpaid internships at John Boy. I started off with John Boy unpaid, and then I was like a $15 an hour intern. So what? Like, if you get an opportunity to rock with like guys like that, and I was in the like this is 2019. John Boy wasn't as big as he is now. They're huge now. They make millions now. Like, if you get in the building there, you have the opportunity to make 6 figures watching baseball and talking sports with those guys. But anyway, you know, everything got shut down, and like I used to go to, I mean, I still go to a lot of games, but I used to go to mad games. Like I used to go to like 40, 50 Yankee games and be with the bleacher creatures. So like when that moment with Juan Soto coming back to Yankee Stadium, and shout out to Mark, if you guys know, you know, Mark Chalpin, who leads the roll call. I always got to defend Mark because he looks like a weirdo, and you know, the internet trolls his ass. They always talk about his facial features and like, but like, Mark is a good guy, and he's forgotten more baseball than you know your average fan will know. And that guy has seen literally 1,000 or more Yankee games live. And that moment, that was, I give him credit, that was his idea, where he was like, "Yo, Soto turned his back on us. We're gonna turn our back." And they took the picture. And I remember I text the executives at Yes Network. I'm connected with the executives at Yes Network. I gave them a heads up. I'm like, listen, we're gonna turn our back to Soto. Like, make sure you have a camera on 203. It was perfect. You know, I like even this past year, my boy Gabe, who I did the stream with the other night. If you guys saw the playbook stream that I did with Gabe is my man, because he was just listening to my WFAN show. He wanted to start helping me out. He started clipping my show. I was paying him a little bit, and then like I started, you know, bringing him to games with me. He came to a Yankee game with me the night that the Knicks won the 2nd game in Boston. And y'all never forget that night either. I never saw Yankee Stadium reacting like everybody. That night, Dylan Cease versus Max Fried, like they were both pitching a no-no. I think like Cease was pitching a no-no, or maybe Fried wasn't, but it was a pitcher's duel. And the Yankees ended up winning it late. But I've never seen Yankee Stadium collectively, like when Bridges blocked a shot, and like everybody like, yo. Like strangers hugging each other, people bugging out, and then like I dipped down. I got out of there. I drove down to WFAN to host a show, and you know, we play Go New York, Go New York, Go. We're taking calls, and like it's people young, old, white, black, Hispanic, like just so New York. People just euphoric over sports, man. So I'm telling you, like we're about to run into another summer. Fanatics Fest is going to be crazy. Like I just was at Bleecker talking to those guys. Like the World Cup is coming here, and the same time the World Cup is coming here, Fanatics Fest is going to go on. Judge is coming this year. Brunson is going to be there. Like there's going to be so much shit going on this summer. If you don't have a phone, like, go get you one of these. Like, I just got the new iPhone. I'm super lit. I'm like, the new iPhone is crazy. Like, get you a tripod. Get you some microphones. Get you something. Just start making content and start putting yourself out there. Like, you don't know where it can go and where it can take you, and you know, help each other. Like, all of you guys, man. Like, now that you're in here in the private chat, you guys can exchange stuff. And like, I hope you guys all follow each other. I hope you guys all connect. If you guys can come out to the event, I know it's tough. It's Saturday. It's in the city, but it's 3 hours, and we're gonna have a lot of different people there. I started sending personal invites to some of the like top creators in the city, like people that got way more motion than me, like 100,000 followers. So, the wave that I'm on this year. There's so many people competing. We need to have more people collabing. And like even with this live stream, we'll wrap this up in this next 15 minutes, kind of just going around and letting everybody speak their piece. I think we pretty much hit on all the, you know, Kyle Tucker and Bo Bichette and you know, Dodgers talk. But like I'm happy that all 4 of you were able to join tonight. And then, you know, for my audience to see, right, because a lot of times they just see me in here, but for my audience to see, like, yo, I'm connected to all 4 of you in a different way, and you don't owe me anything. I'm just paying it forward and trying to help out and trying to connect. So, I'll fall back and pass the mic and let whoever go for it. Just put your hand up and then, take it away.
Yeah, man. Keith, I just want to say I think what you're doing is super dope and is super inspiring. Like we spoke about this on the podcast when we recorded it, but like you got no reason to be bringing me on and helping me out and being friendly, but it's just who you are. And I think that, no matter how big or small, I don't know what forever next year is going to turn into in a year, 5 years, 10 years, but the fact that you are taking, almost feel like you're taking me under your wing and just being like showing me how it's supposed to be done. I think it's awesome. And whatever is next for you, like you're gonna crush it. So
Well, let me stop you. Let me stop you. Like you said, I have no reason. Like people should find reasons to like help people out and share knowledge. And what I said to my young boys in here, like Andrew and Ben are in high school, and I'm like, damn, I wish it was this easy for me to get in touch with a radio host, a guy that I saw on TV when I was in high school. There was no social media, there was no DMs, there was no way to just get to somebody that you admired or somebody that you watched or somebody that you listened to or somebody that fucking did it. Like, and that's what I'm trying to tell everybody. I did it. And like, if I can do it, you can do it too. Let me show you the way. Let me help you. Let me give you some of my resources. Cause bro, there were nights that I cried. There were nights that I was down in the dumps. There were nights where I was sick because I was like, I don't have any help. There were nights where I was like, my parents can't help me. There were nights where I was just like praying to God that like somebody would send a rope down. So like when you say there's no reason, like my reason is like I'm extremely blessed, and like you're supposed to share your blessings, bro. Like you're not supposed to withhold information. Like you met me for a reason. Like I explained the whole way that you like. There is no coincidence that like that day, that was a fucking crazy day. Like the Giants blew that lead. You guys were at the Carolina Panthers Jets game, had a viral moment. You could have went home. My sister was here from LA and she wanted to go out. I didn't even want to go out. My wife went out, and like I'm like all of us were there. So I'm like, just that alone, I'm like, okay, I like this guy's vibe. I like the message and brand. I'm going to try and help. And I mean, you guys will see what Justin and I will do. We've been having some conversations, but also it's the timing, right? I couldn't do this if I was on the radio right now. If I was on the radio WFAN right now, none of us would be in this live, right? Like I kind of got to the point where I was just like, I need to free up my time again and get back to the drawing board. And now all of these things are starting to materialize and happen. So, yeah.
Yeah, well, that's I just to wrap up my thought there. It's just thank you for everything, and excited to be a part of the journey, and let's keep it going.
Yeah, I know. I feel like I have more of a different connection to Keith. So in October of my freshman year of high school, I was listening to Keith. I would fall asleep listening to the fan. I had like a Alexa.
Boring. I was falling asleep listening. This guy sucks. This guy sucks.
I did too. I don't blame him.
So I had like the Alexa in my room, so I'd have it on until I sleep. I'm like, all right, I like this guy. He's got a good story, New Jersey guy, New York sports guy, whatever. So I look on your Instagram, I comment on one of your posts. I think I spelled your name wrong. I think I spelled it Kieth rather than Keith. But I sent you a message like, yo, I'm a big fan. I do the podcast. At that point, I was just getting it started. I don't even think I incorporated video into it yet. It was straight audio. And then you hit me back. It was a single DM, just your email. So I was like, all right, I'll take that. So then I emailed you. You came on. You gave me a bunch of advice. You told me to get the video going. So then I ended up getting that going. I had the old setup in my bedroom. And then so you came on around October, right before the NBA season started, because we did an NBA season preview, I remember. So then it was same thing, kind of a couple months. And then in December, you posted like a story like, yo, I'm looking for some extra hands, being a dad. whatever, this and that. So I was like, all right, my dad was pushing me to reach out to you. I was like, there's probably going to be other people, older people, more experienced people than me, reaching out and applying and stuff like that. But whatever. I sent you the DM. You told me to send a resume. I was like, I don't have one of those. So I had to make one of those, a resume. And then I sent it to you. And a couple weeks later, you emailed me back. Yeah, you got come on and help me. And then the rest is history.
Yeah, man. And like, I didn't really need a resume. I wasn't going to send it to HR, but I was kind of like prepping you. Like, you know how many different resumes I had to make over the years, how many cover letters I had to write, how many places I applied to. Like, there's even guys now, like, they'll hit me on LinkedIn, like, hey, can I just get 15 minutes of your time? I'm like, yeah, here's my email. Send me a calendar invite. And like, they don't know how to send calendar invites. They don't know how to use Google, Gmail. And I'm like, come on, young boy. Like, if you're going to start, reaching out to people and you want their time and you want to book them for a Zoom, a Google Meet, the least you could know how to do is send them a calendar invite and put it in their calendar. And like, even I told the story with Ben before, I made him like a faux producer for me, right? Because all the producers at WFAN, right, they got to make a one sheet for every show. Hey, here are the topics. Here's when we're going to break. Here's things happening in the world of sports, like kind of like just a guideline to get through the show. And I gave Ben that task knowing that it would help him more than me. I have extensive notes. Like if I was to actually show you my notes for like a 5-hour WFAN show, it's too much. Like I can't get to it. The notes app, like if I scroll back, this can go forever as far as like every day having a note for my WFAN show. So like Ben would send me a Google Doc of like the news that happened today. Kyle Tucker signed, Bo Bichette, JT Realmuto, Michael Porter Jr. hits the game-winning shot. But my whole method there was, hey, you're going to sharpen your sword, right? You're doing content. I gave you the game on what you needed to make your content look better, but like you looking up the topics of the day is going to make you a smarter sports fan, a better podcaster, a better host. It's just going to give you this knowledge of like you're reading articles, you're reading headlines, and you're doing it on a daily basis as almost like a homework assignment for me, but it's going to benefit you more than me because sometimes I wasn't even opening those emails, bro. There were sometimes I was like, you would send them and I'd be like, dude, I'm not on tonight or I'm on vacation. I remember telling you, I'd be like, yo, take the week off. Take the week off.
I would just do it. It's Monday to Friday. Like I'm not thinking about it. I'm not checking the Odyssey app. I'm just doing it. If you're on, you're on. If not, whatever.
No, but that's solid, bro. And you've gotten to come inside WFAN and see me doing my thing live there. Like some of the people at WFAN are aware of you. Shout out to Christopher Sewell, who's in the chat. His son George, you might know George's podcast. I think it's Swing for the Fences.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah, Swing for the Fences podcast. George is another young guy that just like I met George. And I could tell he wanted to be in the, in the media industry, in the, this career path, in, this world. And I just started helping him out. I gave him a couple interviews. I did his podcast. I met him in person and just gave him some words of encouragement. So he says, yeah, so agree. Keith, you were one of the good ones. Thanks for helping out George and the other up and coming sports hosts. Like no matter what happens to me, bro. No matter what happens to me, if I go unemployed, the rest of my career is not going to happen. If I go poor, the rest of my career is not going to happen. If I go unclaimed, right? All of the blessings and energy that I paid forward will come back to me through all of the people that I helped for nothing, for no gain. I know that, and like that's just the way to be. So shout out to Justin, shout out to Ben. We got 8 more minutes. If Andrew or James want to say something, and you guys don't have to, it doesn't have to be all like, it doesn't have to be giving me my roses and my flowers. It doesn't have to be that. You can say whatever you want to say, yo.
Well, I mean, I kind of want to start with where I'm at right now. I mentioned at the beginning, I'm doing a lot of like college basketball stuff. And I mean, I didn't watch basketball at all. I was all Yankees, all baseball up until I started listening to towards the end of Steve Summers' time on WFAN. You know, the Nets games would be on before that.
Mhm.
And then you came on right at about that time, and you're talking up the big three, and like Ben was talking about it earlier, you're hyping up the Nets, and I'm just like, all right, I guess I'm a Nets fan. I want to get into basketball. I want to talk about it with my friends. And so now I'm here and I'm doing that, and I've learned so much about basketball. And since then, behind me, one of the things I have here, this is my first real D1 media pass. I
Hell
ever had.
yeah. Save
And, like,
every credential. I could show you. I
Yes.
could show you 100 of them. Save every credential.
Yeah. So, I mean, just kind of going from, like Ben said, helping me fall asleep, to kind of learning from you and being able to do this, kind of as in like an internship sense and learning how to write and stuff like that, has been a real blessing. And, I reached out to you, and I've seen you in a bunch of things,
Flex.
since then. You've been nice enough to keep, helping out with things. So I really appreciate that.
Yeah, bro. I say save them all because they're like little medals of honor, man. Like, I don't know. These are just the ones from like Fanatics Fest, Yankee Stadium,
Yeah.
the Brooklyn Nets.
I mean,
But
I have mine hanging on my closet door upstairs. All of them. Up there.
save them because, and I can't tell you guys how much stuff I've saved. Even in this studio, I have all of my like hard copy tickets. They don't make hard copy tickets anymore. You're gonna get old if you're lucky. You're gonna live to be in your 30s, 40s, 50s, and you're gonna want to look back on those things, and you'll kind of need those things to look back on to like keep yourself kind of humbled and in check. Like, yo, I worked towards this. There's more to do. I made it here, and it's like a time travel thing, right? If you can go back to your Princeton credential when you're 30, it's just going to make it even more like, yeah, like let's keep going. It's something that like I told people like, yo, don't throw those away. I have all of mine. I have, even when I worked at MTV and I had credentials to be on stage with Nick Cannon and Wild and Out, like I have all of those and I'm not getting rid of them. I have a son now. And I hope my son wants to work in sports. I hope my son wants to work in media. I hope I can bestow nepotism on him that I did not have. And I hope that I can explain to him, Daddy, what's this? Like, okay, this is a credential. I was a full season credential at Yankee Stadium for 4 years. What's this? Like, I don't know. The Savannah Bananas. I was credentialed media when the Savannah Bananas sold out Yankee Stadium. Like, those little keepsakes and those physical things, they matter for sure. They matter. I'm looking at the chat. Steve from Freehold. If you were on Afternoon Drive, would you still be on the Fan? You're way too talented and entertaining to be the overnight guy. C-Mac was the overnight guy, and he's on the Afternoon Drive now. What I'll say is, I had no knowledge of what was gonna transpire at WFAN with the changes and with Craig coming back. And I mean, I've told this story over and over again, but people don't care. They want to create lies and they don't want to listen to the truth. But I can look straight into the camera and tell you, I made my decision running my own race, and you should run your race too. Don't run any other person's race or what the company tells you or whatever. My race was 4 years. I did 4 years. My last time on WFAN as the full-time nighttime host was November 22nd. My first contract started November 22nd. I'm still under contract, but when I decided to step down, it was for my son Jackson and my wife Nicole, because I was leaving them at night. And then I was coming in here at 2:33 in the morning, not being able to go to sleep till 4, having to be really quiet. And they get up at 6:37 and they would wake me up sometimes and I'd be a grouch. I'd be POS. I wouldn't be a nice guy. And it's tough. Something had to give. I could no longer do the schedule. And I made my decision right after the World Series. I went to Key Largo for a week and my agent let WFAN know. And then we kept it quiet. I'm telling you, I did 2 weeks of shows keeping that secret. And then when I finally couldn't keep the secret anymore, I put that viral video out. And then a week later, they made, changes with Craig coming back and whatever. So my God's honest truth, I had no idea what they were going to do. and they did not offer me the afternoon drive spot. They didn't offer me any more money. So like it wasn't meant to be.
Honest truth, I had no idea what they were going to do, and they did not offer me the afternoon.
Somebody's giving us the echo reverb. Maybe it was James. James just dipped out. But yeah, that's another part of it too. Like, you're way too talented and entertaining to be the. Yeah, it was James. That's your opinion. That's also my opinion. And when I say I was running my race, I felt like, how many more laps I got to run? How many more years I got to do this? It's time to change it up. And now I'm challenging myself to become the next version of myself. And like I said, I'll be back. I'll next Friday after the Celtics game, you'll hear me come on WFAN. You'll hear me do my thing. But I'm challenging myself to be more dynamic. I'm challenging myself to do other things, create other things, be a better father, be a better husband. And like, so far, so good. So far, like a really good challenge, and like life has improved and things have been better. So Twin Stripe Reporter said, Keith, you should start teaching broadcasting classes. Where? Where? On my own? Monmouth University. Somebody in the chat, somebody watching. We've got almost 1,500 people watching here. Monmouth University, what's the deal? I might be the most successful person to come out of your communication department, Plangier. I'd come back and talk to the kids. Ocean Township High School. Holler at your boy. I'll come back and give game. But you know what? I don't have to go back to schools. I don't have to go back to my own schools. Like, I've been paid to go speak at other people's schools that I had never stepped foot into. I'm giving game to guys like Andrew and Ben and Justin and James and whoever else will listen to it. But yeah, I appreciate it. Chris said I'd pay to take that class. I wouldn't know what to charge. To charge. But yeah, Steve said the hours were brutal. Yeah, they were. Family's the most important. Like, what I'll say too, and I'll get off my soapbox, because I know people don't have kids necessarily, but like, man, my son is the greatest thing that ever happened to me. It just like, it changed my life completely. My dad wasn't around, and my older brother was 10 years older than me. So my older brother was like a father figure, right? Like, like he didn't raise me, but like he was like an authority figure because he was 10 years older than me. And I lost my brother when I was 27. So never having that real connection with your own pops, and then your older brother that was like, that held you down, like you lose him at 27, that shit like broke me, like broke my world, like shattered me. But for good reason. Like, that's when I really started on the trajectory I'm on now, where like I started seeing the world differently. The next time I saw the world differently was when my son was born. And I owe it to him to be there for him, because my dad wasn't there for me. And I don't want my son for a second to think that I'm not there for him. So if I was doing a 7 p.m. show and he would be getting out of daycare at 6 o'clock, I would have to leave. Or I would upset him, because like he would be coming home and I'd have to be like, love you, I gotta go. Where's daddy going? Daddy, no, why daddy? And like, I would literally be like going down the hallway and hearing him crying, and it would break my heart. And then I got to get on air and act like I'm not thinking about my son. There were so many nights where I would have to leave to fight traffic at like 5:36 and not see him. And then the next day, my wife would have to get up to get him out of here. It became too much, man. It became way too much. And I know people don't care. And I know the internet like made it up that like I was fired and my contract was like that. None of that is true. Like I try to tell people the honest truth. I don't have a reason to lie. I'm doing what was best for everybody in my household and me as well. So I hate that I let people down, but I'll be back on Friday and I'm doing stuff like this, and there's plenty more things and opportunities. And like, I'm blessed, bro. Like, I can't even tell you some of the conversations I'm having, and people that have reached out, because it's like, it's confidential information until it materializes. But, even, all of you guys joining tonight and the people watching, like, you guys are part of my tribe. You guys support me. You guys rock with me. And without that, I'm nothing. So yeah, I appreciate everybody, man.
Yeah.
Thanks
for having us on, Keith. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks, Keith.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, of course. We'll do this again. Everybody in my crib is sleeping right now, and this just kind of worked out better for me. And we started off talking baseball, and I kind of sent you guys all the link, like, yo, come weigh in, come chime in. And you know what happens with these live streams too? They build as you get later in the night, right? Because like the games are over. There's less live stuff going on. I'm sure there's people on Twitter that are like, yo, why are there 5 people on Keith's Live? Who are these guys?
People coming home from the bars like drunk stuff.
Yeah, people getting on, scrolling, like, yo, what's this? Like, what's this live about? And man, this live is about life, and it's about sports, and it's about being real, and it's about creating content, and it's about helping people. And I've tried to help everybody in here, and I look forward to seeing everybody in here, and I look forward to, kind of just paying it forward. Like I said, let me clear the rest of the chat, and if anybody else has anything they want to add before I end this, get your final thoughts together. A day says, Key Largo, such a nice drive to Key West. Did you do it? Nah, man. I did drive a good amount of Key Largo in the Florida Keys, but not all the way to Key West because I had my son. We got a really good deal at a nice resort in Key Largo for a week, and it was beautiful. It was amazing. They had like multiple pools, a beach. Our room was dope. It was like, down there it's tropical, so it's like you're in Florida, but you feel like you're in the Caribbean. I hear you. I worked the overnight and have a wife and kids, and it's not easy. So Steve from Freehold knows. Shout out to Steve. Steve's been on TikTok rocking with me and here on YouTube, so he gets it. Wow, good to hear you are doing what's best for you. Congrats on creating your own journey, Keith. I'm blessed. I'm truly blessed. Shout out to my wife for believing in me from college to now. My family, my mom, and then, like I said, all you guys that rock with me. Like, like if I was going live and there was nobody watching, or if I was putting out content, like I just flex. Like, yo, I hit a million views in 30 days. Like, if you're looking to market or advertise with me, like we got the audience. Hit me up. And like, that doesn't come from nothing. That comes from people saying like, yo, like I like this dude. You can do the classes online if you really wanted. I hated school, honestly, so I don't know about all that online class stuff. Do classes online. Somebody was like, I would look into it. I would look into it. You know what? I don't know if you guys are familiar with Gordon Damer, but Gordon Damer just had me on his pod on Monday, and he flattered the hell out of me at the end of the pod. He's like, you are the example I use to my students at Montclair State. I was like, what? I was like, wait, you teach at Montclair State? He's like, yeah. And when we talk about new media and like traditional media and social media and bridging the gap, he's like, I pull up a lot of your stuff. You're the guy. And I'm like, wow, Gordon. I'm like, high praise. Like, Gordon is the man. I honestly thought Gordon was going to take over for me. Gordon's been doing some nighttime stuff and some in between. AJ, you got to join the next one. AJ said, do this again for sure. AJ, I followed your Yankees pod, and I followed you just because you've been super supportive. So the next one, we do. We'll definitely have you in there. So, all right, we're gonna wrap this up. Pam says she's on her way out. It's getting late. Last words. Anybody that has something to say, you guys just raise your hand and go for it.
I'll get in, Keith. First off, thanks for having me. I used to listen to you all the time driving back. And pretty much, I actually think you first met my friend. Shout out Eddie Savage. He's always at the games. And
Yes.
once again, you're always showing us love. Eddie Savage, we're in the Audi Club. We were always having a good time. We were filming content there, and pretty much me and my friend, we just had an idea when we thought the Mets and the Yankees were both going to be, well, the Yankees were, the Mets weren't, last year, that they were going to be the top teams in New York. And we just said, yo, like, let's take over the internet. We're going to just have fun with this. And that's what we did. We started the Metro Mafia. I'll get all your guys' Instagrams too. I'll follow you all. Like he said, event, teamwork makes teamwork. And that's it. We're going to build. And we're just going to have fun with this internet, take it over, meet people, network. And, hopefully when the teams do good, we do even better. So let's hope it's a good season next year.
Yes, sir.
All right,
yeah,
guys.
I'll go next, I guess. Keith, thanks for having us. Hopefully we can do this again soon. But shameless plug for all those listening out right now. If you want more of Keith and I on Monday, Keith is going to be joining me for a live stream over on my channel, The Sports Pod. If you could check the sticker, we're going to be watching the CFP National Championship, Miami, Oregon. And you can actually call in to my stream. So you can do that. 848-305-8073 is the number over there. Go follow me on Instagram at @thesportspod_Ben. All the details are there. But thanks again, Keith, and we'll talk to you guys Monday.
Yeah, I was just about to put that up there. Like, see, yo, you're already a savant, man. Special announcement, live stream with Keith McPherson, college football. The Natty on Monday. Ben will kick it off at 7:20. My son doesn't go to sleep till 8, so I'll be on a little bit after 8. But Ben has the capability set up for calls, so that's gonna be dope. We'll take some calls Monday on YouTube, and so if you are watching this on YouTube, we'll be able to simulcast it from Ben's YouTube to mine. But yeah, not a shameless plug. You're supposed to plug. And you know what I tell people all the time? Promote yourself. Nobody's going to promote you more than you promote you. Oh, is your dad calling you, Tom? So I heard like something like, Ben, yo, let's shut it down, man. Let's shut it down, man. Yo, appreciate everybody, man.
Thanks again, bro.
You know how I end this, guys. Man. Stay blessed, stay up, and stay ready so you ain't got to get ready.
You posting the graphic on the screen.
Oh, I thought he was like, hey, knock it off, Ben. You're too loud in there. Shout out to Pops. Your Pops is a real one, too. I met him at Fanatics Fest, and, like, that's what I'm saying, bro. Like, to have your Pops back you, like, in what you do is so solid, and, like, that's how I'm trying to be, for my son. So, yo, thank you guys again. That's all we got out of this live. I had a lot of fun, man. Enjoy the night.